How do you free up your voice? If you have any kind of constriction, this video is for you, so stay tuned. Whenever you sing, especially when you sing for a longer period of time, you may feel like your voice doesn't work or that it gets tighter and more tense as you sing longer and longer. I want to help you today to give you a few tips on how to free up your voice to where it can have the best resonance and actually sound free and unconstricted. The first thing you want to really address is practicing your posture and breathing on an everyday basis. You can do this in everyday life. You want to lift yourself from the sternum so that whenever you're walking, whenever you're sitting, whenever you're standing in line at the grocery store or so, you want to make this posture very automatic to where it's just second nature to you. This is really one of the basics that is so important for having good support that will also minimize tension on your vocal folds. So from now on, be mindful of that posture. Make sure you're lifting yourself and that you activate that very basic continuous support that is created by lifting yourself. Leave the shoulders very relaxed and just kind of go about your day that way. It's better for you anyway to have some tension, have better posture, to not slouch. It also helps you to breathe better, which brings me to my next point. Whenever you're breathing, make sure you're expanding your ribs. Don't breathe shallowly way up here in your chest, but you want to expand your ribs, like way down here, like you want to expand your ribs. And that you can practice on an everyday basis. The more you can work down here at the core, the less you're going to have to push on your vocal cords because you are creating the compression below. The subglottal pressure is increased, which then actually makes for a more dense and focused tone with less breathiness and less frequencies that are not actually desired. The next point is that you first must try to create a clean, focused, very clear tone before you try to get any distortion in there or vocal fry. First, to really hear the resonance and openness in any vowel and sound that you make, that is the basis. Once you really have that in place, that's when you can add distortion, vocal fry, and a little bit of rasp here and there. So instead of starting out here, you want to really start making a clear tone. Whether I'm singing in head voice or in chest voice, you want to first have that clean tone and be aware of the very small details and even how a very small shift in resonance and in placement and in opening affects the tone. It's really about learning how to operate each part that really influences the sound of your voice, which goes from your lips, the tip of your tongue, the middle of your tongue, the back of your tongue, the soft palate, the whole pharyngeal area, the larynx, and of course your support also has an effect on the way your voice sounds because of the density of the airstream that you send through the vocal folds. So be aware of the very small changes you can experiment with. How is an ah affected? Really experiment with the different placements of different vowels, which then brings me to my next point. You must be aware of what your jaw does in all the parts. Be aware of your jaw whenever it's opening a lot and creating tension, and whenever it might be closed too much. So whenever I'm singing here, yeah, it might be closed too much. Yeah, it might be open too much, which then creates tension in the jaw and also affects resonance. Anytime you're making anything tight, it really changes the sound. Instead of having a rounded space, you want to essentially shape a round space for your open vowels, and as a matter of fact, also for the closed vowels and all the consonants, because even an M and an N and an L and an it does have openness back in the pharyngeal area. And the last point that is actually the most important is don't stress yourself. Do what you do well and always start out with that. It's a very psychological thing. Singing is so much a matter of what's going on in your mind. And so whenever you're stressing and you're tensing up, your whole body just doesn't work. So I want you to think of really starting with what works in your voice. So start with what you enjoy and start with a positive mindset. And don't just focus on what sucks and what doesn't work. Focus on the beautiful moments. And that's what you can build on. When you actually focus on the beautiful moments, when you hear that nice voice color that you're actually looking for, which will come out, even if just for a split second, that's what you want to do. You want to pay attention to that split second when it happens to then kind of go, yes, okay, I know what I just did and I just have to remember and maybe recreate. So it will happen more and more often that you have those short moments, and recording yourself is invaluable. You will see if you have good posture. You will see if you're breathing correctly, if you're expanding your ribs. You will see how your jaw is doing and how the space inside of your mouth is doing and how you are looking, if you're looking stressed or not. But it's so important to think of your body as an instrument, and when your body is all tense and kind of like square, you don't want to be square because that corners don't really work well. You want to have round spaces, like a round big room that you can kind of holler into or sing into, that then the sound can come back and resonate. And that round space is really created by the inside of what's living inside your mouth and throat. That's what you want to really work on and really perfect. That openness in the throat is like, oh, not so good. Oh, I am singing more openly, and it sounds so much better when I sing openly and breathe deeply, and I have good posture. Versus when I press and I have a very closed throat and I stress and then I don't breathe correctly. When I stress, I don't breathe and my posture suffers. So really all those factors play into freeing up your voice. And you essentially want to enjoy singing, because when you suffer and everybody can see you're suffering, nobody's going to enjoy watching you or listening to you, because it's very obvious that you're stressed, and that's not fun for either one. What's your current struggle? Do you have a freed up voice, or do you feel it's very constricted? Please leave your comment in the comment section below. And if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it very much. Subscribe if you have not already, and join my free Facebook group, Master Your Voice. Have a wonderful day, and always keep a song in your heart.
Makes me feel sad for the rest.